Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wizards Within. I'm Sprinkles, and I'm here with Jan King. Jan, are you there? I don't see you in the
I know. I
chat.
didn't because when um I'm there, but I have to log in. Who do I log in as?
Uh, what you logged in as before?
I never went in here.
Yes, you did. Oh my gosh, Jan,
I didn't.
you did. We did the last one in here.
No, I didn't. No. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, sign in. You make it Jan or Janice, whatever, and
As under username.
yes,
Okay. I'm going to do JNAIS
okay,
and then what? Just put a password.
yeah, you're live now, so
Okay. I'm in. I think. Am I in?
see, yes, you are. See how easy that was?
Here I am.
Awesome. Okay, so what have you been up to, Jan? Tell me what's
What
going
have
on.
I been up to? No
Yes,
good.
no good. What do you mean, no good?
Um, I've been okay. No, things are fine. It's just I've been tired because I've just been running. I was running for months, like since Thanksgiving, with all kinds of things going on, and now this past almost a week,
Uh-huh.
I have done nothing except work on my blog, decide what to do with this with the radio show, and all a lot of just relaxing, which I had a first time in probably months that I could do that. So, how about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, everything and anything I can get into. If if I have nothing scheduled, I'm looking for something that I can make a little better. And call it OCD, I don't know, but if I see something and I think, oh, that can be a little bit better, maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that, or the weather, depending on what the weather is too, if
Hmm.
I'm outside or inside. But yeah, I keep myself busy, and I just try to make things better, and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So, what I get bored and I have to go and find things I need to do or get done that I haven't gotten to
Well,
yet.
we're going to talk about that
Oh boy.
soon. Yes, we are. And you know what else we're going to talk about? I think. How about what inspires everyone out there?
Yes.
How about that?
Yes.
Later on in the show, we'll talk about boredom, and
Yeah.
inspiration. How could you be
Yes.
bored if you are? Are you going to be inspired, or what are you going to be? And there, if anybody's listening and they want to talk about anything, let us know.
Yes. Yes, we are very interested in what's going on around with you. But Jan, before we even kind of get into that, or if
Uh huh. Hmm.
people are coming in, we can begin with what's in our astrological things going on. What's coming up? What's going on? Or what's went on?
Probably that's why I'm so tired.
Oh, jeez.
I wouldn't doubt it. Now, what's going on is remember we just had that. Okay, we had the full moon a couple weeks ago, and we had that Pluto Saturn conjunction,
Yes.
which just took place on January 12th. Well, it's almost like it's a turning point in the world, not just in your own life, but in the world. And I think a lot of things are going to change in the sense of, well, people aren't going to allow things to go on the way they are. Okay,
Okay.
there's some kind of a major change coming in, and of course, many out there don't want this to happen. but there's nothing that's going to stop it. Okay, unless the world blows up or something. I mean, I'm being really ridiculous here, but you know what I'm saying. It's just unless something so bizarre happens.
Yeah.
I feel that there something I read. It said something about a struggle between the power in the hands of every individual on the planet against the authorities' attempts to contain it.
Oh.
Okay, that's a quote, and from an astrologer that I found, and I thought that was very interesting because they talked about how the Renaissance and the Enlightenment and those times in history led to this kind of a radical change. So that's what I'm saying. That Pluto Saturn, which is still the energy, still going on. I mean, it's going to be there for another little bit of time. So I think that it's time to just allow the things that are really important to you. Okay, take a look and see what it is that's important. And if it isn't important, then what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Like let it go. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's not just with the Pluto Saturn, it's with the new moon too. That's coming up. But before I go into that, Jupiter, I think we talked about this a little bit privately, that Jupiter is coming into the place where Pluto and Saturn is already in Capricorn, and it's the first time in a long time that Jupiter will conjunct Saturn in April, okay?
Oh, okay.
Which will bring out some other things, which I'm not going to talk about tonight. And then Mars enters Capricorn on the 14th of February, I believe, which will also begin to stir the pot a little bit more than it is now. So be prepared for, the people to act really, who knows how they're going to act.
Yeah.
Because of what's going on. But it's not bad. It doesn't have to be difficult. Okay? It's just trying to shift something, and so many don't want it to shift. Okay?
Yes.
They want it their way. Okay, have it your way and see what happens. And I'm not saying that, like, I don't agree with everything, but I'm not going to sit here and stop it.
Yeah.
Because I want my life to be different. I'm sure you want your life to. It doesn't have to be radically different, but you want some kind of something to mesh that it feels good, that you feel the lightness, the joy, that it all comes back to that.
Yeah.
No, right?
Yes, definitely.
So what I'm seeing also with this leading up to the new moon, there's so much gloom. Do you get a sense of doom and gloom? Tell me, how do you feel about this? I mean,
Well,
I don't put TV on except if it's for something. I don't watch the news, and that's I may read something online just to know that is the world still here? Okay, it is. Okay, fine. But I'm not gonna. Most of the stuff is baloney. Okay.
Yeah. But there did seem to be a touch of doom and gloom because some
Yes.
of this was being portrayed out there. Some of this was being kind of getting people's attention, especially the political area. And a
Yeah.
lot of people thought things were going to come off a certain way, but boom, no, they came off a different way. And that I'm referring to is the Virginia National Rifle Association
Oh
rally.
yes. Mm-hmm.
They expected a whole bunch of chaos, but
Right,
lo and
right.
behold, they were as peaceful as, I'd say, more than possible. Okay, they held their ground. That's what I think. But yeah, there was doom and gloom. People were trying to push that out there so that others can feel that and sense that, and maybe cause chaos and maybe cause
Yeah,
things to
yeah.
happen. But thank the heavens it didn't. Okay, so I could see this going, and I myself, I was like, there's no way this is going to take off because they ought to know better. I mean, history tells us these things.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
So I kind of was seeing that, but I wasn't accepting it. If you get my drift,
I get it. I get it.
yeah, yeah, because you're aware when you're aware of all this stuff going on, you don't want to jump to conclusions. You don't want to, this, all the stuff that life is putting at us, it takes us time to make these changes. It's not going to
Yes.
happen overnight, okay? And these changes that are occurring are kind of bringing us back and forth to the dark and the light, the dark and the light. And it's like, you know, this is not going to happen, and people aren't going to stand for it, and people are looking to make changes with themselves. But it is also very hard to do. It's very, very hard to apply that change in your life. It's not like getting right back on the bike and riding it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it takes time to do that. I
Don't you think? Don't you think that? I'm sorry, I want to interrupt for 1 second. Don't you think that sometimes if you're doing what you want to do, things really shift more quickly than if you aren't doing something you want to do?
Yes, like there's no delay. You're starting to move, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, you're starting to move forward. Even if it's baby steps, to me, if it's baby steps, keep doing it until you get it. And when you get it, you know, move with it. Go with it. But if you're not getting it, you have doubt, take that time to check it and review everything before you do. Is this really what you want? Is this really how you want it to work? That kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because when we do make these changes in our lives, they can be either blessings, they can be chaotic situations, whatever it may be. But the thing to change has to really begin within ourselves, I think.
There's I also find it something I wrote in my blog that there is so many out there. I feel they avoid what their heart is saying, their inner wisdom, and they jump
Yes.
into something that's so crazy and believing what other people believe instead of believing what you believe. You know what your truth is. Instead of so many I see, I watch it, and I think, why are you not listening to your inner self, your heart,
Yes.
your own heart, instead of listening to somebody else that doesn't even has nothing to do with you. You don't even know these. Half of the time, you don't even know what's going on, or don't have a connection to anyone up there, and yet you're listening to them spout off, and you're believing it. How do you
Yes.
believe that if you don't experience it yourself?
Yes. But there's so many people out there also saying, do your own research. Do your own
Well,
research.
yes, exactly. I would say the same thing. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And you have to do that. If you do it fast and you get it, it's like, you know, sometimes you can grasp things and, oh yes, I'm going to use this. Okay. And you go to use it and you find out that, okay, it still has some little kinks here. So now I got to work on getting this done. But again, it's like doing it in steps. It's not taking a whole big leap in front of you.
Right.
Okay. So that is
I'm
what the
going
Pluto
to
and
just
Saturn is doing.
what's that?
Is that what the Pluto and Saturn are doing?
The Pluto Saturn thing, I think part of that is still where that's coming from. That's emphasizing that hectic, that chaotic. You know, it's because it's breaking it down and trying to shift. Saturn is like a secure base, and Pluto comes in, and you don't want to. You want to balk me. You want to buck me. I don't
Yeah.
think so, because I'm
Yeah.
going to come in and clear it out. But Saturn will hold the energy while Pluto comes in and transforms it. And that's what I think is, if you look out in the world today, what's going on of all the, I mean, there's too much going on. I don't even want to talk on it because it's like totally nuts
Yes.
in my mind. There's no other description for it. I mean, it's crazy. And some of the things, even politically, I don't want to talk political, but the thing is, some of the things politically, are you kidding me? Are we all, I mean, you want to live in a gulag? I mean, you want to make it, I mean, seriously, you want to make it Soviet America? Give me a break. Stop. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying things can't change in certain ways. Yes, they can, but don't be crazy and try to pull it into something that you will regret. Believe me.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing, is because we should be working for the betterment of all. Okay?
Yes.
Not,
Hmm.
all right, individually, we can combine and bring something better for all. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Everybody has their own little thing that they're trying to make this world a little better.
Uh
Okay,
huh. Hmm.
well, not everybody, but there are a majority of people do. And with this intention,
Hmm.
okay, it can happen. I've seen it
Sure.
happen.
Sure.
I mean, I lived through a lot of what was happening. I mean, everybody has. And if you think about it, your intention to bring that better out for others is really what is important.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I believe in harm none, okay? I literally believe that, okay? Except for when it comes to my patriotic stance. But seriously, I don't think anybody's rights should be impinged upon. And I think that we have to fight for the means and the ways to bring us to a more harmonized betterment for all.
Hmm.
Things that were hidden, bring them out so we can learn from them, so that we can move on them, so that we could move fast to it. That kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes. So, if you're have any kind of rebel in you or any kind of little revolutionary type of thinking, that you want to change something in your life and you want to do something a bit different than most people, then this new moon in Aquarius is all about you.
Ah,
Okay. And no, seriously, it's not a bad thing. And it's also the only thing that's, the only aspect that it has is squaring Uranus in Taurus, which says, quirky, interesting energy. And Aquarians are the visionaries, the outsiders. And I feel that uh, it wants to just stir the pot a little bit, not in a bad way, but just something unexpected can occur because Uranus is not like everybody else. Okay. And it does rule Aquarius.
yes.
So, you know, and it's all Uranus in being square to the moon and sun in Aquarius is saying, well, if you don't want to be a revolutionary, I'm going to come in and stir it up so you might just think that way a little bit. And I don't mean in a bad way, but just it could be a different perspective, that kind of thing. So it says free yourself. If something has bogged you down in your life right now, if you feel some kind of restraint, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there and moan and be depressed about it, or are you going to do something about it? Because Uranus will come in and shake it up a little bit and say, why don't you just let that go?
Yeah.
Just let it go. And maybe with the new moon, then with this unexpected little twist of events, you can start fresh.
Yes.
And it's amazing what it can do for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because it's almost like a lightning bolt.
Oh
Okay,
boy, I get a lot
that's
of
what
them.
it's like, a lightning bolt. But a lightning bolt isn't bad if it opens up something for you.
Yes.
And or maybe it'll come in and you'll go, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with this? Something's shifted totally, and now what do I do? Well, maybe it's shifting totally for you, so you will see the truth and you can move forward in a big way,
Yes. Exactly. And
right?
yes,
Go
and I can
on.
relate with it because it's like, well, I've come into a new me, if you will,
Okay.
because in the past I was behind things and I was trying to make things as beautiful as possible and putting
Hmm.
it out there and putting it out there about others, okay?
Okay.
So this year, for some reason, I, I let go of a few things. I let go of my creativity in trying to bring out things and put my whole energy into that as far as being creative, if you will. And like, for instance, this new
So is that, excuse me, is that what's going to happen now for me? I'm going to go back to being creative?
no.
Since I seem to follow you all the time.
Well, only since I changed me. But what I'm saying is that that creativity is still there, but it also had stopped me in a way because, like, for instance, doing videos, working with cameras and programs of that sort so that we can bring out. Well, that took a lot away, and it took me some time to figure that out because it was pulling so much on the energy of the computers,
Yes.
the RAM and stuff. Okay, so I thought, well, I really don't need that, but I also wanted to get me out there because people know me for only certain things. They don't know me as me. So this platform and being with you is helping me do that. Okay, and that's been a big change too because it's I'm no longer behind the scenes. I'm coming out in the scene because there's a very giddy, possibly eccentric person in me, and but my main thing is I still love my goal, and that brings me to a basic principle in the spiritualism, if you will. If I may, the brotherhood of man is a practical principle. I love that principle. And as brothers, we can live and strive together to support each other and the family. Now, this principle reminds us that we should do the same. We should endeavor to cooperate with our brothers. We help our fellow man, and by so doing, we are actually taking part in God's plan. And we bring out so many different things: the love, the security, the peace, the kindness, the beauty, the joy, and it's to people's lives. It's trying to connect with each on a loving and spiritual way with the intention of bringing out the betterment.
Right.
Okay, and now I attempted to do that in the past, and I thought I did it really quite nice because it went for 3 years. But there's so much more to it, and it's the connecting with others that is so very important to me. It's connecting with them and to find out where they are and what they're doing, and is this going to get better? Is there going to be some new light to bringing others back out? Because it almost seems like they're hiding.
They are. They're hiding.
Everyone.
They are. Yeah.
It's.
And I think that's, if I may interject here, which I don't want to go into right now, but I think that's part of the reason why we were talking about the boredom issue.
Yes.
Because it has to do with other people, and I have something to say about that in a bit. But just remind me. I don't want to bring it in now because there are a couple things I still want to go over with the Uranus.
Yes.
They're a rebel without a cause. If it's negative, okay, and if it is more positive energy, then they are charged. They are really charged, and they celebrate their individuality and creativity. So there you are with the creativity, and that's what's happening. A lot of times it's a square, but the thing is, Uranus is saying, you know what? You're not paying attention. So I'm going to come in like that lightning bolt, and I'm going to shake the system a little bit because Aquarius wants to move forward. They want to do things that are creative and inspiring and all that kind of stuff. They're the far seer. They see things in the distance, the visionary. And I mean, there are some that aren't. There are some that are very more Saturn ruled and like more conservative and not quite as out there and what should I say, unique as others. I mean, they're still unique, but they don't bring it about because maybe they're stifled a little bit, or they're more prone to working in a structured environment.
Well, behind the scenes.
So I think that it's all about individuality too.
Exactly.
So, and the other thing that's going on is Venus is squaring Mars around this new moon, which means don't get into arguments, stop it. And because if you're going to get angry, you're going to have an argument. And if you're going to have an argument, that's going to get really ugly. So watch out for that. But then on the other hand, there's Venus is in good aspect to Jupiter, which says, okay, you want to be angry, but we're going to calm it down and bring some understanding. So, and for those out there who are free of aren't in a relationship or a partnership right now, somebody new may show up. So just be open and see what happens.
Yeah.
But trust who you are and what is going. Use your inner wisdom first before doing anything else. Seek that first before asking somebody else. I mean, I'm not saying you could always ask others what they think, but the thing is, bottom line is, if you don't even pay attention to what you're feeling, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Then you're following somebody else's life and living that life. Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So a couple things. I just wrote down a couple odds and ends. Like for you, your new moon is in the 12th house.
Oh.
New moon in Aquarius is in the 12th house. And it means you were talking about spirituality. Okay, spiritual stuff. Well, guess what? That's exactly where you should be heading at this time.
Yes.
Something to do with that. Okay. And I'm not going to read them all. There's two. I'll just give a couple. Like if you have the new moon in the 5th house, is become more childlike, or try, or bring out that creative bent. Okay, that's the 5th house is always about creativity and children and that kind of stuff. So I say if that new moon is in the 5th house, which would I'm trying to think of the 5th house. That would probably be Libra. Yeah, Libra would be. It would be like the new moon it would be Libra sun sign would be the new moon would possibly be in the 5th house. So it would be like try something new, be creative. It falls in my 9th house. So it says I should travel somewhere new.
Oh, you're going to come visit?
or go on an adventure. I thought.
Yes.
Or also to, maybe write something also, because it's more like it covers like things that you put out there in the world. It doesn't have to be a creative thing. It could be any kind of writing, publishing, getting it out there somewhere. It could be online. So I do that though. so that's nothing new. But I think the adventure would be good. Maybe I'll just find a new adventure.
Yeah, a new change.
Yes.
Get a new website.
I hear you.
That can be an adventure.
I'm working on it. Believe me, I have it on my list. That's what I want to put on it.
Awesome.
I might even put my poetry, because I have tons of poetry that I wrote for the last 30 years.
Oh, I love that. I love poetry because that's where the spirit speaks through, and that's where the love or the sadness, all of it.
But you know what's funny, poetry. Sprinkles, is that I look at I would love to put it together and see what I can find to get it out there, to get it in a book. Yes. But it's just funny because some things I go back and look and I think, who wrote this? Who wrote this? I didn't write this. There's no way I wrote this because it's so profound. I go, huh? I don't even think that way anymore. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could write. I'd rather write poetry, write my whole. Probably instead of writing a blog, I should write it in a poem, because that's what comes to me very easily. But it's just funny because when I look back at older poems, I go, really? I must have been. What was I doing when I wrote this?
Yeah, but it's like an amazing self-discovery, you know.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it
Very
can
much
be
so.
awesome. And you gotta. It's almost as if, really, did I really? No, that was somebody must have helped me that. And you start going back in memory, trying to figure out how did you get to that point. You know?
Exactly. But you know what? Too, I look at old stuff from old blogs, maybe from when I first started writing blogs. Totally different than now.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I mean, some of them are I really like them, and I thought, what was I doing?
Yeah.
You know, where was that coming from? See, it was a different time, different. So I'm trying to get back to something else, a new me.
Yes. Well, hey, don't let.
But you've been helping. See, you've been helping me do this on some level.
Blame me. Go ahead.
You have.
Well, I'm glad because we're supposed to be helping others. And,
Yes.
and that's what should be done. And not to glorify ourselves, not to gain favor with God, but in
That's
the spirit
true.
of unselfishness. It's a spirit of selfishness.
Yes.
There's just sometimes giving the listening ear a time and an effort spent to help another. And if we do that, even in the smallest of ways, it's a beginning. And it's a beginning to such a beautiful and better life. And again, it's not just for one person, it's for everybody. And we all should be loving one another by our character and not by what rumors or gossip or anything else happens.
That's true.
But what you take from it. And if it's helpful and the intention is helpful, then be open to it because the possibilities are endless.
Do you
Right?
ever find that how some people have no interest in others?
Yes.
I mean, most of the time. I mean, I'm saying I'm astounded as how many out there that I run into have no interest in other than themselves. And I'm not saying that I can't talk about me. If you ask me a question about me, yes, I can talk. And if I ask a question about you, you would talk. Okay, that's different. But I'm just saying, just generally speaking, I see a lot of times that you run into people and it's not like you ask them how they're doing; they already want to tell you how they're doing.
Yes.
And I think I will. You know, I'm going to bring my little sign, my counselor sign, and put it on hang it around my neck and say, counseling session, mini counseling session for so much, because that's what it always turns into a counseling session.
Aw.
And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but sometimes it would be nice to hear something that I could relate to.
Yeah.
You know, see the angle. There's a different, see it from a different angle. That I could resonate with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you
Even
find that?
open-
Do you
being
find
open
that
to it.
also?
Yes, it's like I can relate, but sometimes people will give me things that I already know, or I've already experienced, or I've already done, and it's like, okay, I've covered that, but let me know what's your latest thing going on,
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Tell me what drew your attention to your life that you are now doing. And it's the same thing. It's like, where have you been? Bring yourself out. Let people know you. And it's almost like, get to know your neighbor. How many people go out to actually go to connect with their neighbor. Okay, they don't. They go everywhere else. Okay, but they also are limiting themselves and
Mm-hmm.
connecting with your neighbor, be it good or bad. At least you are now aware of another part of somebody's life. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's not to be intruding, but it's into sharing a part of their lives because, and that's it can be very good. You know why it can be very good? It's because things that seem to be troubling others have gone through it. Okay, and
Yes.
they would be open to telling you, well, this is how it affected me. This is how I
Well,
worked it, and
that's exactly true.
yeah,
That's exactly what I was going to say. See, you read my mind.
yeah,
It's a matter of like, tell me how it affects you. What is it that in your life that's not working, or how can you make it different? You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes. Yes, and sometimes they give you those answers. They
Hmm.
actually come out and give you those answers. And the important thing is that you're not demeaning people. You're not putting down. You're not doing any of that. What you're doing is
Hmm.
pure concern for another being,
Yes.
and when you learn about what they either have gone through and they're offering you some advice, be open to it. Nobody has to take everything, you know what I'm saying, what's given to them, but
Hmm.
be open to it. Walk away, think about what just took place, and how does it affect you. um,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
I just I find it's fascinating to me when I like when we talk. You
Yes.
know, it's like if well, I'm interested. So why are you doing this or why are you doing that? Or
Yeah.
you would ask me the same thing or blah 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 blah. But it's just so many don't do that. So that's
Yes.
why I feel that how do you relate to somebody if they are not willing to open up? And the way to get open is the fact that, as you said, so what is it about this situation that bothers you so much, and how can you change it?
Yes.
But some
Yeah.
people don't want to change it; they want to leave it the same. So that's why it's the way it is.
Yeah, or they hold on to things,
Yes. Oh,
and
absolutely.
and and they're holding on to things. They're not seeing that there's, and it's, to me it's like imprisoning themselves when they do
Yes.
that, because
Mm-hmm.
they can't see the door before them, and there's always a door there, and if it's locked they have the freaking key. So why not, open the door, see what's on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Come out from that home, come out from that shelter that you put yourself in, and
Right.
live. I mean, there's so many. I hate to say this, but to me, there are so many living dead, and to me, I want to go over and shake them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is
Like,
too, they don't have. Don't you? I find that there's no. They don't feel. There's no joyousness. You know what
yes,
I'm saying? And if they're
yes,
friends, the friends are. It's a shallow type of thing. It's like, gee, what do you talk about? The
yeah,
weather? I don't understand what you talk about because I'm not interested in talking about the weather. Or, I mean, I might talk about the weather as a joke because I think I'm always looking at the weather to see what to see if it's going to snow or what's it going to do and how wrong they are. But I mean, normally speaking, I mean, why not talk about something interesting? You
yes,
know, is there nothing interesting? Like I find so many don't talk about anything. How do you do that? I'm not talking to you because I'm not going to talk about nothing. That's the way it is.
yeah. Well, some people do, but and but see, I kind. Oh, how can I say? There are some that actually go around like just rattling away on it,
Yes,
you
yes,
know, and
yes.
and to me that's okay because they're trying to get attention to what is bothering them or what is
Yes,
upsetting them.
that's so true.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they'll rattle and rattle, and it's like, well, okay, you're in this situation. What can you do about it? What do you think can be done? And a lot of them probably would turn around. I have no idea right now. I'm so in
Mm-hmm.
deep here that I don't know how to look out. Well, there's so much out there to be available to help you get out. Okay, there's so many different things, so many different categories. And it's like no one's really alone. All you need to do is, you know, ask for a little help to see a little better, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
And sometimes that tiny little bit is a great help. Sometimes just listening to somebody is that great help. So the ones that kind of like rattle the can to where they're always needing an answer now, when in fact they've just had an answer, they've applied it, and now they want more. But what have they learned from that? To do it on your own, not have somebody else come in and do it.
That's yeah, I understand. And the thing is, I feel that I don't know. Why do you want to talk about things that are like not? There's nothing to talk about. There's I just find it so I don't. It's fascinating to me to run into people, and some people I know forever, and some people I've just met, and some of them are very interesting. Okay. Because they allow you they allow you in, okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But some go around in circles. You know, they live, I feel like it's, like I believe I said this, why do people live in a box? I don't know how to do that. I mean, I live in a box, I live in a house, but does that mean I'm not going to do anything? No. Because if I can't get out, then I'm going to do it online, and if I can't do it online, then I'm going to figure out something else.
Yes.
Okay. Or maybe I'll just sit still for 30 minutes. I said this to someone and they go, what do you mean you're going to sit still I'm going to sit still for 30 minutes. Yeah. And I'm going to breathe and I'm going to just let life just come to me, whatever comes to me.
Yes. It's like you're trying to ground yourself.
Yes.
To where you can do a stable intention. Okay. So if your intention is to be stabilized and to figure things through, you need that time to
of course.
ground.
Of course.
Okay? And then you can approach it in a little bit more, I don't want to say make fast decisions, because sometimes that can mess us up, but to slowly, again, move forward. Try to move forward in whatever the situation it is that you're in. So, and people sometimes may talk of mundane things, okay? But even that, it's like to me, it's like a little call to, can you hear me kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Yes, that's a good point. That's good. Yeah.
So I love people. I really do.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah. And they're so freaking fascinating that they are.
I know.
In all different areas. I'm trying to convince you.
No, I feel the same way. I feel they are fascinating and they're interesting if they allow themselves to be that way.
Yes.
I mean, I've many times, like, maybe came across people that I didn't know, and I ended up talking to them in some situation or whatever, and maybe I didn't get the full gist of who they are, but the thing is, I was able to, they didn't hesitate to share, even though I didn't know them, okay, at that time. So you can do, I mean, I don't understand the circle, the ones that just go around in circles all the time. I guess they don't even notice that they do this.
Yeah, it's like a routine of life. And it's like get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch TV, go to bed, get up, go to work. You know, day in and day out. And there's so much more. And it is work. It is work when you do not enjoy it. Okay? If you do anything, do things that should be enjoyable to you, to connect with others. You see, people that don't know me don't know this part of me, so you're helping me bring this out. And I thank you, because you
have helped me considerably too. I have to tell you that. Thanks. I really mean that, because there are things that you point out and think, so she reads my mind too.
Everybody tells me that sometimes, but the thing is, because that's a part of you that has been there, and I'm only saying, look, there it is, you know. And because my things are different than your things, but the intention is the same.
That's because you're from the Bronx.
Well, yeah, that could be a problem.
That's why I connect with you. Because I wanted to be a New Yorker.
Well,
What can I say?
it is. It's not. But it's my environment. It is not only consisted of my past of New York, but it's where I've gone throughout my
Yes.
life, and the
Yeah.
people that I met. I mean, I've grown so much, and I still have so much faith in the intentions of the human being better for all, that it drives me freaking nuts, and I got to figure out a way how to get it out there.
Oh my gosh.
So is that the new moon pushing me?
Could be. Could be. On the spiritual level, and also on the deeper intuitive side and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Aquarian new moon is intuitive also. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it may pretend not to be.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Okay. Understand. I got that.
Do you?
Yes. Because
So
go ahead.
So if here's something if you're interested in people genuinely,
Mm-hmm.
then I read that someplace that you would be fascinated. You not only will be fascinated, but you will be fascinating. So by showing interest like we have been in others, and it brings about this fascination because you'll be fascinated by them, but you'll also be fascinating yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think that's really true, because usually if you resonate and you start to talk and you interact and all that kind of stuff, but people have to open up. If they don't open up, forget about it. It doesn't work.
That's right. That's where the sharing comes in. You need
Yes.
to share.
Yes.
Yes. It lightens your burden when they do. Okay? It lightens their burden to where they don't have to carry this any
Yeah.
longer. They may have help on unloading a few things, and as they move forward, they can learn something else. But it's from others that are there listening and sharing it and helping and suggesting.
Right.
Because nothing is in stone, and we have to remember that too. Because we are such individuals, which is very unique. Okay, because that uniqueness itself speaks volumes. So,
Right.
but who's going to hear it if you're going to hold it to yourself and shelter it, and not use that key to open the door to bring out something that touched you, that somebody else may be able to learn from, whether good or bad. Okay,
Right,
but
right.
it opens their mind. It can open a world to some people. You know that saying, I love it. You may be one person in this world, but to one person you are the world, or however that goes. Well, that is a profound saying, and it's not going to happen if you don't put it out there. Okay, if you
Right,
hold
right.
back and you don't share. And that's my whole thing. I love to share because I want to learn more. I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything, but I do want to know what works for people and what
Right.
makes them that better person. What they sought. What did you seek? Reiki to help yourself? Tell me about it. What did it do for you? Are you a healer now? Tell us how you got to this point. And I love doing interviews about people because they bring such a reality to a part of life that everybody isn't seeing, but now they have an opportunity to.
Absolutely. I many times I think, I don't know, many aren't interested in, like, there are many people who know nothing about me. I mean, they may know to a point, but they're afraid to ask me why. I don't know. I have no idea, but I know that.
Yeah.
They don't. I know a lot of people who have no clue what I do.
Oh,
I mean,
what?
unless I tell them, well, I had this radio show where I was doing my blog, or I'm doing something else, or I, you know, counsel people, blah blah blah.
Mm,
Many have no clue.
yeah.
They don't.
Well,
They don't
eh,
ask. They don't
well,
ask me.
well, why
So
don't
why
you
don't they
just tell
ask
them?
me?
But why don't you just tell them?
Oh, I do anymore. I didn't before. I used to like just,
Mm,
well, whatever. If you don't want to listen, fine. I'm not going to talk to you about it.
right. Well, I tell everybody I meet for the
Well,
first time. I
you
let
know
them know
what?
up
You know
front.
how I tell people? I
What?
tell people when I talk to somebody,
Mm,
seriously, I'll say they'll be chatting away, and I'll say they'll bring up something, and then I'll say, I don't know, somebody the other day, I said, well, when's your birthday? And they'll look at me like with three heads, and I have three heads, and I said, well, no, when's your birthday? Oh,
mm,
okay. And they tell me, and I go, oh, really? Oh, that's interesting, and that's all I need to know. And
mm-hmm.
that's all I need. Just I don't even need their date, their birth year. I just need their to know who they are, just the month and the day. That's
Mm.
fine. And usually I can pick up things. And it's just funny because that's what I do anymore. If people don't want to talk before the conversation ends, I go, tell me when your birthday is. Oh, okay, thank you.
Well, you
So
see,
the next time I see them, I said, you know what? If I didn't remember your name, I would remember your birthday.
mm,
And many times that has happened because I couldn't remember their name. It's
uh-huh.
somebody I just met and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't paying attention, but I knew their birthday.
Mm. Well, you see, I do that, and it's usually with energy from people that I get it.
Uh huh. Uh
But
huh.
I don't hesitate in telling people what I do, and how I do, and whatever I'm into at this point too.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
some people kind of step back because they think I'm reading their minds.
Well, I think. Well, I read somebody's mind today.
Yes, you did. But it's there's for people that are psychic or intuitive or even empathic that pick up on the
Yeah.
vibes, there's a common courtesy and respect that we don't go in where we weren't invited. However, I can see the person who gets very frightened by it because they never came across anybody that does what I
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
And they just heard gossip from the friend that I was telling all about it. And then I get to meet them, and they are so quiet. I mean, like they are stoned. They just sit there quiet. And I can't break them out of it that I'm just a normal person. Really, I am. But, and I'm not going to delve into people's things because that's their privacy. That's like being on what do you call those phones with the other people on it? I can't remember the name.
What do you mean?
They're
Party
all,
line?
when people used to be hooked up to other
Party
people's.
line. Party
Yes,
line. Hmm.
yes. And it's like, no, I really want them to know me. If they ever needed help, I'll be more than happy to help. If they ever wanted to discuss anything, if they ever wanted a reading, or if they ever wanted this, I'd be more than happy to
Hmm.
help. But I'm not going to delve into their business. Uh, I need that permission. And
Right.
it's just common respect for each other. And again, it's another means to being of help to others, to let them know that you're there, and if there is a need for something, that you are there, and I can pick up something sometimes. It's really crazy, to where I can pick up and. There was an incident years and years ago where I just didn't want to read this person because the things I was feeling, the images I was getting, I just didn't want to. I didn't know how to face it because I didn't know how to put it to them.
Hmm.
And but that didn't deter that person, and I loved the courage this person still persisted to kind of come in and get me to finally listen to her. And it was my own fear that kept me apart from actually helping her. And I from that day I just can't do that no more. I cannot hold back what I'm getting, but to be open to when somebody's going to come to you to be there. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yes, yes. Do you
So,
ever find? Do you ever find that? Did you ever like just turn off your? I've tried to turn off my. What should I say?
radar.
Radar. Yeah, good. That's a good one. Yeah, radar. I sometimes do turn it off,
Yes.
but lately it doesn't want to. And even
Ye-
though I
Oh,
like if I meet someone out there or I'm talking on the phone or whatever it is online, it doesn't matter. I just think like shut it down, Jan, shut it
yeah.
down. And
Yeah.
it won't anymore. I used to be able to do that. Now it's just like, oh, I could shut it down, but it'll seep in another way. I'll pick it up in a different way. And
Yeah,
it's
but
just like,
over the years you've grown and these frequencies are out there and you've grown to where, okay, now you detect something, but you're not sure how you should go about it and I'm just going to leave it alone kind of thing, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So your frequency has grown and you're more apt to see things. But you know what? I bet you still hold your tongue because you're not going to, don't you?
At times, yes.
Oh,
Well,
well,
it depends. But
yeah,
I must say, in the last couple months, with all the things going on in my life that were like making me nuts, because I was running like crazy and traveling and whatever. And the thing is, I just sometimes I would just say something, but I wouldn't say it in a negative way. I would say it in a way that somebody, if they wanted to hear it, they could hear it. If they didn't, it would go right by.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Yes.
said it in a very discreet way that if you wanted to hear this, you would hear this. If
Well,
not, that's okay.
well, see, that's another end, being discreet. Okay, when situations like that happen,
Yeah.
you can still say your mind, but be very
Yes.
discreet about it because they'll know what you're talking about, but
Of course. Of course
no,
they will.
others won't. Okay,
Yeah.
we have 2 minutes left.
Oh gosh. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Any
I like it.
last
Do you have
words
any?
you want to put out there?
What? Do you have your 2 cents to put in the rest of the time, or in the two
What
minutes?
I've been.
Speaking of number two, Derek Jeter got into the Hall of Fame, and he will be inducted in July. He's my favorite player, and I had to say this. And the
Oh,
reason I'm saying this, I put it in my blog, and I'm saying it now. He believed he was going to be a New York Yankee since he was in grade school. Wore
oh,
a New York around his neck, a symbol around his neck, and said he was going to go. And guess what? He went. And how do you
awesome.
do that? How do you believe that much that happened?
Well, you
Do
do
you know
it.
what I'm saying? His
Yes.
intention, he said, I'm doing it when he was little. And they talked about it yesterday when he got the call and everything like that. And he said the same thing. He wore it around his neck and he believed he was going to be on the New York Yankees and never gave it up.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's kind of like manifesting, right?
Yes,
Manifesting.
yes.
Okay, but so many people are being told just think happy thoughts, just think happy thoughts, and then to manifest, you also have to put action to some of it. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
just can't blindly go. You have to do something to get this ball rolling in what you want to manifest. It's not going to come to you and just put it in your lap. You have to do things and act on things, whether your thoughts or your actions, whatever, and do. Okay, you have to apply that. It's like a thought. You have a thought. Yeah, I'm thinking this. I'm thinking that. But thoughts aren't going to come alive until you act on them.
Yep. No, that's what I'm saying. I just was so happy to hear that because I thought, wow, he read my book. I'm joking.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, that's it on time. And I want to thank you, Jan, for keeping this discussion going and allowing a little bit more of me to come out. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you.
I
So,
appreciate you too.
well, thank you. I hope other people that are going to be listening to this will come join us. We want to hear about you. We want to interact with you. We want to know what's going on in your life. Where are you hiding? What have you been doing? Get out there, people. It's time to live, not to go around in circles. Come out and learn to live a little bit more. Please. Jan?
It was great tonight. It was great. I am so appreciative. No, I'm so appreciative
Yes.
of working with you on this, and it's just been this new moon. I look forward to it and and want to see where it's going to take us.
Yes, me too. Let's hurry up. No, let's take our time. One step at a time. All right, everybody. Love and light to you all. Until next time.
Love you.
Love ya.